Good day, Dr. Shabir and Dr. Hanan. My name is Wong Chi-ying. We are from Group 3. Today, we would like to present our project titled Telco Customer Churn Classification. And this is our Group 3 members.
Greetings to Dr. Shabir and Dr. Hanan. My name is Jocelyn Lee Choi Yen and I'll be presenting about the background and significance of our project. Firstly, the telecom industry faces high customer churn because of its intense competition. Next, it is important to understand that retaining customers is actually cheaper than acquiring new ones. Thirdly, most customers churn early in their relationship, which is often within the first few months of their purchase. Next, customer tenure, which is how long a customer stays with the business, is a potential early signal to potential churn. Lastly, analyzing tenure helps to understand why customers leave, which enables business to prepare required strategies to retain the customers.
Good day to Dr. Shabir and all my teammates. My name is Liu Weijian with no metric 24102071. Today I would like to discuss about the parts of data processing. Perform the data cleaning by removing some blanks and also adding some indicators such as the financial indicators for deeper insight. We also integrate some industrial benchmark such as the Deloitte 2024 churn to enrich the context, and also we employ the various visualization to narrative the data such as the cluster bar chart, pie chart, waterfall chart, stacker bar chart. For example, to the impact of the demographic like dependents and senior citizen status on the retention. We also create some interactive dashboard to explore the effect of the payment methods and capabilities on the churn that shows build a very comprehensive data story from raw data through the visualization and framework. So there is some outcomes include identifying the churn and effective contract strategies.
So we have total 5 business questions in this project, covering demographics, contract, service, billing behavior, and also customer tenure. These questions are aimed at understanding what drives churn and also how to reduce it.
Good day, Dr. Shabir. My name is Jia Yu, and now I want to present about the first research record. The first research record is what are the key demographic characteristics of customers who are more likely to churn. To answer this record, there are 5 categories were developed. The first category is churn more prevalence among male or female. Based on this class, churn is almost equally prevalent among male and female. The male is 49.76%, while the female is 50.34% for churn rate. To mean that there is a legal difference between the good and churn. Therefore, churn cannot become a factor in customer churn, and both churn contribute nearly equally to the churn population. The second churn is senior citizens more likely to churn than younger customers. Based on this class, senior citizens is 35.47%, where younger customers is 74.53% for churn rate. This suggests that younger customers are more likely to churn than senior citizens. The third category is hierarchical checkers, where partners or dependents affect churn. Based on this class, medical checkers significantly affect churn. Among the curse customers, single customer is a larger portion, married customer is a major portion, and divorced customer is a lower portion. Regarding partner and dependent checkers, more of the current customers are people without a partner and people without a dependent. Therefore, this suggests that customers without a partner or dependent with a single customer were more likely to churn than the customer with a partner or dependent with a married customer or divorced customer. The fourth category is churn driven by age or lifestyle. Based on this class, churn is driven by age group. The majority of churn customers are under 30 years old, while customers who are over 30 years old has a smaller portion of churn. This suggests that younger customers are more likely to churn compared to older customers. The last category is are there financial factors in customer churn behavior. Based on this class, there are significant financial factors in customer churn behavior. Among the customers with medium financial level are the largest, followed by customers with high financial level and customers with low financial level. This suggests that customers with medium financial level are more likely to churn than others with financial level. Now I want to present about the recommendation. Telco companies should discuss customer marketing projects that make their high-rate customer behavior better and demographic characteristics. Telco companies that provide personalized plans with a higher churn demand. For example, younger, single, and medium financial level customers. The personalized plans include customizable mobile plans, ads, and Google review, and loyalty incentives. The approval will provide flexibility, value digital equipment, the approach could preferably at large. This will make more value to the telco company and reduce the likelihood of gun. This is my presentation. Thank you.
Since there are 5 sub-questions related to question 2, let's talk about them. Why do month-to-month contract experience the highest churn rate? Based on the finding from pie chart, we can do a summarize that contract duration strongly influence the retention, and also 1-year plan provide a sweet spot between the flexibility and commitment, making them an ideal option for most customers. We move to the next question, which is how do short-term contract balance flexibility and retention. So based on the findings from cluster bar chart, we found there are some overall implications. Firstly is the contract duration shape service adoption, especially for those family-oriented customers. And then month-to-month plans have the most popular by volume but low in value-added service uptake. For those 2-year contract, they are indicate a stronger commitment to extra like device protection. For 1-year contracts, they are optimal middle ground between flexibility and long-term value. So in short, the telecom provider can tailor contracts and burden based on the customer segment preference. Moving forward to the question, what makes long-term contracts so effective at reducing churn? So based on the insight from waterfall chart, we can find there is some analysis between the type of contract and also the gender. So we can summarize that 1-year contract strike the best balance between the commitment and retention, and also consistency, lowest attrition rates across all gender groups. Moving forward to the question 4, do customers with auto-renewable contract exhibit lower passive churn, and how does the billing method interact with this effect? We can find a finding based on the cluster bar chart. So it was a higher churn rate observed with the paperless billing include the bank transfer and credit cards, while the traditional payment methods show more complex churn pattern like mail check and also electronic check. So we can do the summarize that paperless billing tend to increase the churn for automated payment system, and for traditional payment type, the churn impact the paperless billing is more varied and unknown. So the disparity in the churn suggests that the payment method prefers correlate with the customer segment. Based on finding from cluster bar chart, for the last question, we can do a summarize that customer without dependent consistently churn more than those with dependent, since act as a stabilizing factor, lower churn across all the contract type, while the family responsibility like a discourage switching due to the great inconvenience of moving multiple service, while the higher satisfaction with stable family plans. This effect is more pronounced in month-to-month contract but holds true across all duration. Based on a critical question, we found that a strategy solution for the business which the company must balance the contract flexibility with the retention needs as customer preference vary, and also the data can identify at risk and guide target offer like loyalty rewards or the special discount. For tactic and future trend, it can be analyzed customer behavior to identify at-risk user earlier, which enable the proactive intervention like tailored discount and service upgrade. It can also blending an analytic human-centered strategy builds adaptive and resilient retention system.
Hi, I'll be presenting our findings on research question 3. What services are commonly associated with higher churn? Our analysis of 5 key services reveals surprising insights that challenge conventional assumptions about which services truly drive customer loyalty in telecommunications. Okay, let's start with 2 services showing dramatically different impacts. Online security emerges as a strong retention driver. Customers lacking online security show markedly elevated churn rates. This service builds fundamental trust and addresses core customer anxieties about data protection, creating psychological dependencies that significantly increase switching costs. The strategic implication is like online security should be repositioned as a core component of your value proposition, not an optional add-on. Streaming TV presents a fascinating contrast. Despite expectations that entertainment services create sticky relationships, streaming TV should remarkably neutral churn behavior. Why is it like that? This is because customers perceive streaming as easily substitutable given the proliferation of Netflix, Disney Plus, and other platforms. Strategic takeaway is use streaming services for customer acquisition, not as retention. Tech support stands out as our most significant predictor of customer retention. Customers without technical assistance experience substantially elevated churn rates. Technical issues create cascading negative experiences, but effective support transforms these into loyalty building opportunities. The strategic implication is treat tech support as a critical infrastructure, not as a cost center. Phone service show near universal adoption, limiting its utility as a churn discriminator. Customers view it as a fundamental utility requirement, not a differentiating feature. Focus should be on maintaining quality standards rather than promoting adoption. Device protection demonstrates moderate correlation with churn behavior. It functions as a complementary retention mechanism, working most effectively when bundled with other services. Strategy should be targeted towards high device value customer segment and integrated within premium service tiers. Our analysis reveals a clear hierarchy that should drive strategic resource allocation. High priority should be given to tech support and online security. These are our retention powerhouses that directly impact customer loyalty. Medium priority involves using device protection strategically through targeted bundling for high-value device customers. Finally, organizations should recalibrate expectation by positioning streaming TV as an acquisition tool rather than retention mechanism, while maintaining phone service quality without over-investing in adoption drives.
Next, I would like to present about our research question 4, which is how does monthly charges and total charges related to churn behavior. There are a total of 5 sub-questions in this research question. In question 4.1, we categorize customer by monthly charges, which is low, medium, and high. The data show that churn is highest in the high charges group, where 1,274 customers left compared to only 188 in the low group. This suggests that high-paying customers may feel they aren't receiving value of the price paid, especially if service expectations are not met. Moving to 4.2, we compare total charges between churned and retained customer. Those who churned had an average total charge of 1,500 ringgit Malaysia, while loyal customer averaged 2,600 ringgit Malaysia. Since total charges reflect how long customers stay, this tells us that newer customers are more likely to churn early. Together, these insights show that pricing perception and early stage experience are the key trend driving. In question 4.3, we focus on high-paying customer to find out that how contract type affects churn. The result will clearly indicate that 52.8% of customers on month-to-month contract churned, while only 17.6% on 1 year and 2.9% on 2-year contracts did. This shows that short-term contracts are strongly linked to the higher churn, even among premium paying customers. In 4.4, we explore how payment method related to churn for high bill customer. Those using electronic checks has the highest churn rate at 45.3% compared to only 15.2% for credit cards and 16.4% for bank transfer. This implies that manual payment methods may create friction or reflect lower engagement, leading to higher churn risks. Altogether, this payment highlighted that the importance of offering long-term contracts and convenience of auto payment option to retain high-value customers. And finally, in question 4.5, explore whether there is a pricing sweet spot for the churn control. We found that the high charges group had the highest churn rate at 35.5%, while the medium group with the range between 35 to 69 ringgit had the lower churn rate at 23.7%, and the low group just 10.9%. This clearly shows that customers in the 35 to 69 ringgit range are more likely to stay, likely due to the balance of affordability and service value. It highlights that pricing strategy play a critical role in customer satisfaction and long-term retention. In short, this dashboard summarizes our findings, showing that high charges, short-term contracts, and manual payments lead to higher churn. And mostly importantly, we identified a pricing sweet spot between 35 to 69 ringgit, where churn is lowest. This gives telco companies a clear direction to improve customer retention. Based on this insight, we propose 5 key recommendations. Firstly, telecom company can offer loyalty rewards to high-paying customers to improve their perceived value. Second, they can improve onboarding for new users since early stage churn is high. Third, they can encourage long-term contracts for month-to-month user by offering promotions. And fourth, incentivize auto payment methods which are linked to higher retention. And finally, focus pricing plans around the 35 ringgit to 69 ringgit range, which has the lowest churn rate. This is the business sweet spot for stabilities.
Greetings, professors. My name is Jocelyn Lee, and I'll be presenting about the last research question for this project, which is, can customer churn be used to predict churn? The first sub-question is, what is the average tenure of churn versus retained customers? Based on this clustered column chart, we can see that churn customers have an average tenure of 18 months, while retained customers stay for around 38 months on average. So there is a clear indication that shorter tenure is linked to higher churn risk. Meanwhile, the second sub-question is, are customers more likely to churn within their first 6 months or after a certain period? Based on this stacked column chart, we can see that 744 customers churn within the first 6 months, while the churn declines sharply after this period. So this indicates that the first 6 months are the most vulnerable period for losing customers. Moving on to sub-question 3, which asks, how does churn rate change over different tenure brackets? We can see from this 100% stacked column chart that from the beginning to the 12th month, the churn rate is about 47.7%. Then from 13 to 24 months, the churn rate is 28.7%, while for more than 25 months, the churn rate is 14% only. This shows that the longer the tenure, the lower the churn rate, which also indicates that retention improves after the first year. Next, for the fourth sub-question, which asks, are long-tenured customers more likely to be on longer contracts or bundled services? From this clustered column chart, we can see that 2-year contract customers have highest tenure, which is approximately 60 months, while month-to-month customers churn earlier from around 14 to 21 months. This indicates that longer contracts will allow longer retention and lower churn. Lastly, to answer the last sub-question, which is, can we use tenure to predict future churn and intervene early? We use key influences graph to analyze. So the results that we get is tenure is a top churn predictor, where the shorter the tenure, the risk is increased by 2 times. Next, month-to-month contracts also raise churn risk by 6.3 times. Thirdly, high monthly charges and no tax support are also key factors. And lastly, tenure is not just descriptive, it is predictive. Based on research question number 5, there are several recommendations that should be introduced to the telecommunication industry. Firstly, the industry should focus on customers in their first 6 to 12 months with onboarding support and check-ins. Next, they should also offer discounts or loyalty programs to promote their 1 to 2 year contracts. Thirdly, bundle tax support should be implemented with services to reduce churn for high-risk customers. Moving on, they should also implement predictive churn models using tenure, contract type, and service data. Next, they should also automate alerts in CRM systems to flag and engage at-risk customers at early stage. Lastly, data-driven strategies should be implemented to increase customer retention and reduce churn risk. Thank you.
In conclusion, this study explored the key drivers of churn in telecommunications section through a data-driven lens. Using Power BI, we visualize 5 focused business questions and discover clear patterns. Churn is highest among customers with short tenure, high bills, and also manual payment, and lowest among those with long contracts, bundled service, and automated payment. These findings show that how data storytelling helps business move beyond numbers, turning raw information into strategic decisions that retain valuable customers and drive long-term performance. So that's all from Group 3, and thank you for your time and attention.